Altair, Ezio, Connor, and now Aveline. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation is, in many ways, a departure for Ubisoft's flagship series. It's the first true handheld Creed title, forgetting the dire Bloodlines of course. It's the first to feature a female assassin, and it's the first to eschew series regular Desmond and his fancy Animus. And whilst it might be sneaking its way out alongside console counterpart Assassin's Creed 3, this small screen stealther is more than just an afterthought. Here's why. Without the framing of Desmond and the Animus, Liberation can cut the cack and get stuck in with the story straight away. And what a story it has to tell! Set between the end of the 7 Years' War and the beginning of the American Revolution, Liberation has a dense political tale of warring armies, mainly the Spanish, bickering industrialists, mainly the French, and tricky smugglers, mainly the Indians. It's a fantastic portrayal of 18th century New Orleans, and one that navigates the diverse cultural landscape that the region's history was born from. It's also a grand historical backdrop for the ongoing Assassin-Templar conflict, albeit with a twist. Liberation is designed as a form of abstergo propaganda, as seen from the perspective of an assassin. To decode that for you, it basically means that it's the Templars' turn to tinker with the story. Caught up in the middle is Aveline de Grandpré. Born of French and African descent to a slave mother and a French bureaucrat, Aveline is the perfect embodiment of the class conflict of the time. A charming lady about town, but with the ability to blend in as a slave, Aveline is an 18th century Batman of sorts. She's an assassin of many faces and guises, and this really helps to flesh out her character, especially from a gameplay perspective. Different outfits naturally mean different abilities, and while that may sound formulaic, it allows Liberation to keep things fresh and varied. While the slave persona hasn't got the same wealth of gadgets, she's a dab hand at soaring through the treetops of the Louisiana Bayou. And that, much like Connor's airborne assault on the trees of the frontier, is Liberation's main trump card. Its Deep South locales are expansive, detailed, and incredibly impressive for the Vita. You'll hardly believe you're seeing a full Assassin's Creed title on your handheld. Liberation's open-ended worlds are simply magnificent. You'll forget you're playing on such a small screen. Whilst they're a lot smaller than the console Creeds, Liberation's New Orleans and the Bayou, and other locations we won't spoil here, are rich and full of life. And that pretty much goes for the rest of Liberation. Whilst it can never compete with one of the full console titles, this handheld Assassin's Creed ends up feeling a little slight. That's not always a bad thing, as the condensed missions feel much more suited to play on the go, but it does mean most of the missions will be simple attack and defend. Then again, the notoriously complicated mission of Brotherhood and Revelations could have done with a little bit of condensing themselves. But Liberation's short missions never hinder the pace of the game, and as a result, Liberation may well be the most focused Assassin's Creed experience yet. And regardless of its limitations, Liberation is perhaps one of the best Vita titles. It doesn't fall into the pitfalls of touchscreen implementation like, say, Uncharted Golden Abyss, and it sure doesn't dilute the console experience in the same way as Resistance Burning Skies. But what it does do is offer a fast-paced historical adventure that breaks down the console mechanics of Assassin's Creed 3, picks out the essential elements, and rebuilds them for the small screen of the Vita, all whilst navigating the handheld's functionality in a way that doesn't annoy. While it may fall short of becoming a mini masterpiece, Liberation nails the essence of the Creed experience and distills it almost perfectly for the mobile market.